Coming up next, the Grand Forks Police Department is investigating possible misdirected terroristic threats against a local high school floating around on social media. And multiple people were hurt in a crash near the Acres of Terror in Leonard. Plus, activist groups on different sides rallied for their beliefs and philosophies today. Valley News Live at 10 starts now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Activist groups on different sides rallied for their beliefs and philosophies today on the Veterans Memorial Bridge. One group was holding a freedom rally while the other was focusing on anti-fascism. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling brings us the story.
At the Veteran Memorial Bridge, two activist groups with opposing views expressed their beliefs and philosophies this afternoon. One side expressing their thoughts that it should be a personal choice when it comes to certain matters like vaccines, under the banner of a freedom rally.
We're here to encourage other patriots to get involved in protecting freedoms in our country. So the main thing is to inspire others to get involved and protect freedom.
On the other side, a counter rally was held, with their message being, say no to fascism.
Patriotism is about what you stand for as a collective, and what they're standing for right now is blind nationalism, whether they think they are or not. What we are standing for is fighting against fascism. What we are standing for is support and equality for all people.
The freedom of choice has been a hotbed of discussion in the nation in recent months, from masking in schools to vaccine mandates.
And we just want to restore freedom, personal freedom, and so that's what I would talk to them about, freedom, and how I believe they're being misled into socialism and into communism.
While the other side is saying that the vaccine and mask mandates isn't about personal choice, it's about public safety.
They think fascism is having to wear a mask and not being told to get a vaccine. Those are things that are about public safety. That is not fascism.
Both sides expressing that they are looking for and wanting freedom.
Both sides kind of want the same thing. We want freedom, we want liberation. But what they're doing is calling it freedom, but what they're doing is supporting nationalism.
The thing to do when you disagree with somebody is not to silence them, it's to refute what they're saying.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
The Grand Forks Police Department is investigating possible misdirected terroristic threats against Central High School that have been circulating through the social media platform Snapchat. Authorities say they were alerted yesterday about a Snapchat message threatening future acts of violence at the school. GFPD says the message appears to have originated from another school with the same name in a different state. Police say the officers in that area are aware of the message, but GFPD says their investigation is still open, and if anyone has information, they are asked to call them at the number listed on your screen. Well, here's a question some may not want the answer to, but is it too early to be talking about snow? Well, Summer is here now with the latest details. Hey, Summer.
Snow, it's not too early to shake. Thank you. The last couple of years, we have had snow as early October. So compared to the last couple, we are behind schedule. But that might shortly change. Right now, we are seeing clouds starting to increase, and here's the next round of showers that will be lifting to the north and the east over the next couple of hours through the overnight and into our Sunday as well. And that might mean some snow. We're talking about the chance of some flakes for some by Sunday morning. I'll time it out and let you know where coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, great comeback there.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. The Polk County Sheriff's Office says they were called to the scene of a crash involving a train and a semi yesterday around 6:45 p.m. in East Grand Forks. According to an incident report, when police arrived, they learned the semi was stopped at the intersection of Highway 2 and 390th Avenue. The semi's beat trailer was partially still on the railroad tracks when a train was passing by, causing it to collide. Authorities say no one was injured in the accident. A Minnesota man is facing several charges, including for distracted driving after a crash that injured multiple people near the Acres of Terror in Leonard. Law enforcement says an 18-year-old driver of an SUV was going south on Highway 18, when he was distracted by his GPS. Another vehicle was stopped in front, waiting to make a left turn, forcing the driver of the SUV to swerve into oncoming traffic. The SUV collided head-on into a van before running into a ditch and rolling over onto its side. The driver of the SUV was traveling with 4 other passengers. Everyone in that vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Also, a 16-year-old girl who was a passenger in the van involved was airlifted to a hospital in Fargo. The driver of that vehicle also suffered injuries that are not life-threatening. Big changes are coming for those who want to get their commercial driver's licenses. Starting in February, those interested in getting a CDL will have to get formal training from providers registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. The entry-level driver training also requires 31 mandatory theory topics in 5 general areas, as well as behind-the-wheel sessions on and off the road. The additional training will not apply to those who already have the permit.
It's just an additional step that they have to go through in order to make sure they get that additional training. And I think for everybody, that's a good thing because, these trucks are out on the road and making sure that they know what they're doing, making sure they have the appropriate training is good.
The changes are meant to make drivers and the roads safer, but some say it may discourage people from getting their CDL.
If we make the path more challenging for them from the point where they're looking for a job, interested in transportation and getting their CDL, if we make that more challenging, most people will go the path that has less resistance.
This comes as the American Trucking Association says it's short 80,000 drivers nationwide. The NDSU Bison welcomed nearly 130 veterans to today's game. One of them was 95-year-old Bob Shirley, who served in World War II. He's been coming to the games for the past 3 years, all thanks to community members who donated their unused season tickets.
Thanks to the Bison program that she puts on, today there's 130-some Bison vets that have the privilege of coming, and they gave us $10 a piece. We got popcorn, Coke, and a nice hot dog.
He got all kinds of special treatment there. How wonderful. Now, if you are interested in donating your tickets to this effort or put in a request for veterans, you can do so by calling 701-899-2578. Later on Valley News Live at 10, a tenant is speaking out after mold develops in a home she was renting out.
And a beautiful wrap to our day, courtesy of our Luther Family Ford Skycam in South Fargo. But now clouds are on the increase and we have some snowflakes to talk about. Time it out in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up right after the break.